For 3 years, my mornings began the same way. Coffee in one hand, hope in the other. I would glance at my wife, Hannah, sitting across the table, scrolling her phone with the same blank expression she always wore. And every day I'd try. I'd reach for her hand, ask how she slept, tell her I missed the way she used to smile at me like I was the only person in the world. She'd shrug, mutter something like, "I'm just tired," and retreat into silence. Tired. That word became the wall between us. I begged for connection, not just physically but emotionally. A kiss that lingered, a touch that meant more than obligation, a look that said she still saw me. But begging turned into routine. My words felt like echoes bouncing off a locked door. At first, I blamed myself. Maybe I wasn't interesting anymore. Maybe the long hours at work dulled me. So I tried harder. Date nights, small gifts, cooking dinner, even learning to fold the laundry the way she liked. I thought effort would spark something back to life. But each attempt was met with indifference, sometimes even irritation. "Stop trying so hard, David. It makes me feel pressured." That sentence gutted me. Pressured? I wasn't asking for the world, just the closeness that used to come so naturally to us. I'll admit I grew desperate. I'd stand in the doorway of our bedroom, watching her scroll herself to sleep, waiting for her to notice me. Some nights I'd whisper, "Do you want to talk? Do you want me?" And she'd sigh, roll over and say, "Not tonight." Night after night, month after month, until rejection wasn't the exception, it was the rule. What she didn't know was that every refusal carved something out of me. I stopped feeling like a husband and started feeling like an intruder in my own home. The house was filled with her perfume, her laughter on the phone with friends, but for me, it was silence. Then one morning, something in me broke. Or maybe it healed. I still don't know. I looked across the table at her, phone in hand, and for the first time, I didn't reach out. I didn't beg. I didn't try. And that silence, it changed everything. The silence lingered like a stranger at the table. Hannah noticed it immediately, though she pretended not to. She kept scrolling, sipping her coffee, waiting for me to ask again. Waiting for the ritual she had grown used to. But I didn't. I just got up, washed my mug, and left for work without saying a word. That night, she asked casually, "Rough day?" I shrugged. "Not really." No begging, no pleading for closeness. I slept on my side of the bed facing the wall, and didn't reach for her. For the first time in years, she was the one left in silence. On the third day, something shifted. She set her phone down at breakfast. "You're quiet lately." Her tone wasn't annoyed, it was uneasy. I smiled politely. "I guess I just don't want to pressure you anymore." Then I went back to my toast. I could feel her staring at me, the weight of my absence pressing harder than all my attempts ever did. By the end of the week, Hannah's confidence had cracked. She lingered near me while I worked on my laptop. She asked if I wanted to watch a movie together. She even reached for my hand during a drive, something she hadn't done in years. And when I didn't react the way I used to, when I didn't light up like a starving man thrown scraps, I saw panic flash across her face. The irony? The connection I begged for daily only came when I stopped asking. She had mistaken my persistence for weakness, my patience for complacency. But when it disappeared, she realized it had been holding our marriage together all along. Late one night, as I was heading to bed, she touched my arm. "David, what's happening to us?" Her voice was soft, almost trembling. I looked at her and said the words I had been swallowing for years. "You pushed me away, Hannah. And I finally stopped chasing." Her eyes filled with tears. She whispered, "I didn't think you'd ever give up on me." That was the moment she understood. The begging wasn't about neediness. It was about love. And now that it was gone, she finally felt the emptiness I had lived with for years. The following days were different. Hannah hovered around me, offering to cook my favorite meals, slipping compliments into conversations, even suggesting a weekend trip for just the two of us. Things she had once dismissed as unnecessary suddenly became her mission. But the truth is, something in me had already shifted. I wasn't cold or cruel, but I wasn't desperate anymore either. I wasn't clinging to scraps of affection. I had learned how to live without her closeness, and she could sense it. The power dynamic had turned. One evening, she climbed into bed beside me and whispered, "I miss us." For the first time in years, it was her reaching for me. She pressed her lips against mine hesitantly, like she was afraid I would pull away. And in that moment, I realized she wasn't just missing me. She was afraid of losing me. I didn't rush. I didn't give in completely. I let her sit in the space she had created with her refusals. "Hannah," I said quietly, "I begged for us every day, and you turned away. I don't know if you're reaching for me because you love me or because you're afraid of being alone now." Her eyes widened, tears threatening. "I do love you. I didn't realize how much I needed you until you stopped asking." That was the cruelest irony. The love I had always wanted was there, but it took my silence to wake her up. From that night forward, things didn't magically fix themselves. It wasn't a fairy tale transformation, but she started showing up differently. She touched me without being asked. She laughed more, lingered longer, and actually looked at me when I spoke. For the first time in years, I felt chosen again. And me? I had learned something I wish I'd understood long ago. Love cannot be begged for. Desire cannot be negotiated. The more you chase, the further it slips away. But when you reclaim your self-worth, when you stop pleading, you force the other person to see the truth. You were the one holding the foundation all along. So, when people ask what changed in my marriage, I tell them this: nothing changed until I did. And the day I stopped begging was the day she finally started listening.